Close your eyes. Let your shoulders soften. Let your thoughts loosen their grip. Let the tide inside you slow. Far beyond the lands we know, beyond the jagged cliffs and restless seas, there once existed a place of quiet wonder, a place born not from chaos but from harmony. This place was called Atlantis. Did not rush. It did not clamor. Simply it was. The island rested upon the ocean like a dream upon the mind, floating gently in a cradle of deep blue water. Warm currents curled around its shores, protecting it from harsh storms, while soft winds carried the scent of blooming gardens across the waves. In the early morning, when the sun first stretched its golden fingers across the sea, Atlantis glimmered like a jewel. Crystal towers caught the light and scattered it into rainbows. Rivers wound through green valleys like strands of silver thread. Birds with iridescent wings soared overhead, their songs blending with the whisper of the surf. Everything moved in balance. The people of Atlantis awoke with a rising sun, not to alarm or urgency, but to warmth and peace. Curtains stirred gently in open windows. Water trickled through stone channels built to guide it through every home. The scent of sea air mixed with fragrant flowers, drifting softly through the streets. Some rose from their beds and stepped barefoot onto smooth marble floors, cool beneath their feet. Others paused by their windows, watching the ocean breathe as if it were alive, because to them it was. The Atlanteans believed the sea was a living presence, a great and patient being that remembered every footstep, every whisper, every prayer. They spoke to it often, not with fear, but with affection. Children padded through quiet halls, their laughter soft and gentle. Families gathered for simple morning meals of warm bread, sweet fruits, and clear water drawn from sacred springs that bubbled beneath the city. No one hurried. There was nowhere to rush to in a world that already felt complete. Beyond the homes lay wide avenues lined with glowing stones that absorbed sunlight during the day and released it slowly at night, bathing the city in a soft golden glow. These roads curved and flowed like rivers, leading toward the heart of Atlantis, where the great temple stood. At the center rose the temple of Poseidon. It was not a harsh or towering structure meant to intimidate. It was a place of quiet awe. Smooth columns rose gracefully toward the sky, carved with waves, dolphins, and spiraling shells. The walls shimmered faintly, as though reflecting water even when dry. Inside the air was cool and calm. Incense burned slowly, releasing a scent that blended salt, flowers, and something deeper, something that felt like peace. And there, watching over all, stood the great statue of Poseidon. His eyes were carved from crystal so deep and blue they seemed endless. Many believed if you looked into them long enough, you would see the ocean itself staring back. His trident was held gently, not raised in threat, but resting like a shepherd's staff. Poseidon was not feared in Atlantis. He was loved. It was said he had chosen this island long ago, when the world was young and wild. He had fallen in love with a mortal woman named Plato, who lived upon a quiet hill at the island's center. To protect her, he shaped the land itself, forming rings of water and earth around her home, creating a sanctuary that no harm could reach. From their union came children, and from those children kings. 10 of them. Each ruled a part of Atlantis, but none ruled alone. They governed together, guided by ancient laws that valued balance above all else. Every few years, they gathered beneath the stars, where silver firelight danced across their faces as they renewed their oaths. No king was greater than the sea. No law was higher than harmony. The Atlanteans carried this belief into every part of their lives. In the center of the garden, a small fountain bubbles quietly. Its waters catch the light and scatter it in soft ripples across nearby stones. People sometimes come here when their thoughts feel heavy, sitting by the fountain until the sound of flowing water carries their worries away. In Atlantis, even sorrow is treated gently. Further on, the great libraries remain open. Their tall doors stand wide, inviting any wandering soul inside. Within, glowing orbs float near the ceiling, casting a warm, steady light over endless shelves of crystal tablets and scrolls. Readers move slowly between them, their footsteps soft. Some pause to read. Others simply wander, letting the quiet soothe them. Knowledge here is not rushed or demanded. It waits patiently, like a tide that always returns. In one corner, a scholar traces star patterns onto a sheet of shimmering parchment. In another, a child listens as an elder tells stories of ancient times, of the first kings, of Poseidon's love, of the shaping of the island. The stories are spoken slowly, each word allowed to settle into the air. As the night deepens, bells begin to ring from the temple towers. Not loud, not sharp, only soft musical chimes. They drift across the city like lullabies, reminding everyone that it is time to rest. Homes grow quiet. Curtains are drawn. Candles burn low. Families gather in peaceful rooms, sharing final whispers before sleep. Some speak prayers to Poseidon. Some thank the sea. Some simply breathe. In the distance, waves lap gently against the outer walls of the city, their sound low and rhythmic. It is a sound that has existed for as long as Atlantis has stood, a sound that will exist even after it is gone. It is the sound of something vast and eternal, holding the world in its arms. You feel that now. Drifting. And somewhere beneath the surface of the island, deep within glowing caverns, ancient crystals pulse slowly with a steady, calming light. They hum softly, a vibration so gentle it can barely be heard, yet it touches every stone, every drop of water, every living being. The heart of Atlantis beats, slowly, peacefully, in perfect time with the sea. And as you float deeper into this dream, the island continues to breathe around you, steady and serene, inviting you to let go and sink gently into rest. The breathing of the sea grows softer now, deeper, like a lullaby sung by the world itself. Far beneath the gentle waves that cradle Atlantis, currents glide through hidden passages, brushing against ancient stone and glowing crystal. They move slowly, carrying whispers from one end of the ocean to the other, weaving together stories of time, memory, and quiet wonder. Above the island rests. Roofs curve like shells beneath moonlight. Towers shimmer faintly, their surfaces reflecting both sky and sea. Even the air seems to glow, as if filled with invisible starlight. In the heart of the city, the great palace stands peaceful and still. Its windows glow warmly, and soft curtains drift in the night breeze. Inside, hallways stretch wide and calm, lined with murals painted in gentle colors, scenes of oceans, clouds, and the first days of Atlantis. These paintings tell of a time when Poseidon himself walked upon the shore, when the island was newly formed and the people were learning how to live in harmony with their world. They show Plato standing upon her hill, gazing out at the endless sea, protected by rings of water and land. They show the first kings kneeling beneath the stars, promising to rule with kindness. In one quiet chamber, a small flame burns in a crystal bowl. It is never allowed to go out. The Atlanteans believe it holds the spirit of their island, a reminder that even the smallest light can guide a whole world. Their ships glided across the ocean like feathers upon water. Their sails were woven from shimmering fibers that caught even the gentlest breeze. Their hulls were carved with symbols meant to honor the sea and ask for safe passage. They traveled far, to lands of sand and stone, to jungles thick with green life, to places where the stars felt closer to the earth. They returned not only with goods, but with stories, knowledge, and new ways of seeing the world. Yet no matter how far they journeyed, Atlantis always called them home. 'Cause home was not just a place. It was a feeling. Back on the island, life flowed in a slow, steady rhythm. Farmers tended glowing gardens where plants thrived on both sunlight and gentle magic. Water flowed through channels beneath the soil, humming softly as it nourished every root. Artists painted with pigments made from crushed gems and sea plants, creating images that shimmered and shifted with the light. Sculptors shaped stone that felt almost warm beneath their hands, as if the earth itself were alive. Scholars studied the stars from open terraces, tracing constellations and recording the movements of the heavens. They believed the sky and sea mirrored one another, both vast, both mysterious, both filled with quiet guidance. As the day drifted into evening, lanterns were lit across the city. Their glow reflected in the canals, making it seem as though the stars had fallen into the water. People gathered for meals beneath open skies, sharing stories in low, gentle voices. Music floated through the air, soft flutes, slow drums, and strings that sang like wind through shells. No harsh sounds, no jarring noise, only gentle harmony. And as night settled in, Atlantis grew even more peaceful. The sea whispered, the stars watched, and the island slept beneath a blanket of glowing light, safe within the arms of the ocean. You are there now, breathing slowly, drifting gently, wrapped in the quiet magic of a world long lost, but never forgotten. The night in Atlantis is never truly dark. Even as the sun slips beneath the horizon, the island glows softly, as if remembering the light that touched it only moments before. The stones beneath your feet hold warmth. The air carries a faint shimmer. Everywhere, gentle illumination lingers, comforting and calm. The ocean, stretched endlessly around the island, reflects the sky like a vast mirror. Stars scatter across its surface, trembling with every quiet wave. It feels as though the heavens themselves have descended to rest upon the water. You walk now along one of the great canals that curve through the city. The water beside you is clear and still, revealing smooth stones at its bottom and fish gliding lazily through soft blue light. Their movements are slow and unhurried, as though even they understand the sacred art of rest. Bridges arch gracefully overhead, connecting one ring of the city to another. Each is carved with symbols of waves, winds, and constellations, reminding all who cross them that everything in this world is connected. Somewhere nearby, a small boat drifts by, its lantern glowing like a floating star. The person inside rows gently, barely making a sound. The oars slip into the water and rise again in a steady, soothing rhythm. Dip, lift, dip, lift. Your own breathing follows that pattern without effort. Beyond the canal, gardens stretch out beneath moonlight. Tall flowers with pale, glowing petals sway in the breeze. Vines climb marble walls, their leaves sparkling with dew. The scent is sweet and clean, filled with hints of ocean and earth. The Atlanteans do not fear the unknown. They welcome it, knowing that mystery is simply another form of beauty. As the night deepens, clouds drift slowly across the sky. They are thin and pale like wisps of breath. They pass over the moon, softening its light, dimming the world just enough to make everything feel even calmer. In the gardens, glowing flowers fold their petals inward, conserving their light. The fountains continue to murmur quietly, their voices blending with the distant sound of waves. All is well, all is still. And far below, in the glowing crystal caverns beneath Atlantis, the heart of the island continues to pulse. It sends gentle waves of energy through the stone, through the water, through every living being. These waves are not strong. They are soothing. They calm restless thoughts. They ease tired bodies. They guide dreams. You may feel them now, a soft warmth spreading through you, a quiet heaviness settling into your limbs, a peaceful fog drifting across your mind. Atlantis is not just a place. It is a feeling, a slow, steady heartbeat, a gentle tide, a whisper that says you are safe. And as you float deeper into this endless ocean of calm, the world fades, leaving only the soft glow of starlight and the quiet song of the sea. The quiet continues, wrapping around you like a warm current. Time moves differently here. Does not tick or hurry. It flows like water slipping over smooth stone, endlessly and without effort. In Atlantis, the night is not something to escape. It is something to rest within. Somewhere along the outer edge of the island, where the great walls meet the open sea, small waves brush against the stone in slow, rhythmic patterns. Wash, pause, wash, pause. Each wave leaves behind a trace of coolness, a whisper of motion, and then retreats, making room for the next. Sea birds sleep on tall pillars, their wings tucked close, their feathers rising and falling with their breath. Even they have surrendered to the calm. High above, the stars drift slowly across the sky. Constellations shift and slide, telling stories written in light. The Atlanteans know these stories well. Tales of gods and heroes, of oceans formed and worlds shaped, of balance always returning. They believe that when you sleep beneath these stars, their stories slip into your dreams, guiding your spirit gently through the night. Perhaps you feel that now. A softness, a drifting, a sense of being carried. The sea glimmers beneath the sky, reflecting those same stars so perfectly it becomes difficult to tell where the heavens end and the water begins. Everything blends into one endless, peaceful expanse. Somewhere far below the surface, ancient ruins rest in quiet darkness, not broken but simply waiting. Even now, Atlantis holds secrets, memories, and echoes of voices that once laughed and sang. But there is no sadness here. Only stillness. Only calm. You float through this dream as though drifting on warm water. Your thoughts grow slow and gentle, like clouds moving across a summer sky. Worries fade. Plans dissolve. There is nothing to hold on to but the quiet now. The ocean continues to breathe. Slowly. Softly. Guards move slowly through the halls, their footsteps barely a whisper. Their armor does not clatter. It gleams softly, polished to reflect the gentle glow of the lamps. They watch not with suspicion but with calm devotion. Outside, the city is wrapped in a blanket of stillness. The canals shimmer. The gardens sleep. The sea watches. On the far edges of Atlantis, where land meets water, tall pillars rise from the waves. These ancient markers are carved with symbols that tell the tides when to turn and the storms when to stay away. They hum softly as currents pass around them, ancient magic flowing quietly through their stone. The Atlanteans trust these pillars as they trust the ocean, not blindly but with deep respect. Fishermen sometimes sit beside them at night, gazing into the dark water, listening to the hum of the pillars and the slow lap of waves. They say that if you sit long enough, the sea will speak to you, not in words but in feelings. Calm. Gratitude. Belonging. As the moon drifts higher in the sky, silver light pours down across Atlantis. It slips into windows, across marble floors, into gardens and temples, touching everything with a gentle glow. Even the statues seem to soften beneath its light. The great statue of Poseidon appears almost to breathe. Shadows shift across his stone face, giving him the look of quiet watchfulness. His crystal eyes catch the moonlight, glowing faintly as if alive. Some say he watches over the city still, even in silence. That he feels every wave, every dream, every heartbeat of the people who live upon his chosen island. And perhaps he feels yours now too. Your breath grows slower. Your body feels lighter. You drift, as though floating upon warm water beneath a sky full of stars. Atlantis holds you gently, inviting you to sink deeper into its peaceful rhythm. There is no rush here, no need to think, no need to be anywhere else. Only the sea. Only the night. Only this calm, endless dream. The dream drifts onward, slow and smooth, like a boat carried by a quiet tide. Somewhere beyond the glowing city, far out where the ocean deepens into endless blue, gentle waves roll across the surface. They move in long, steady lines, meeting and parting without ever colliding, as though guided by an invisible hand. Beneath those waves, the sea grows darker, deeper, more mysterious. Soft lights shimmer far below, bioluminescent creatures drifting through the water like floating stars. They pulse slowly, glowing and fading, as if breathing. Atlantean sailors know these lights well. They call them the dreamfish, gentle beings believed to carry peaceful thoughts from one soul to another. Some say that when you fall asleep near the sea, these creatures swim close, gathering your worries and carrying them away into the depths. Perhaps they are near you now. Perhaps they glow softly beneath your dreams. Back on the island, high above the water, the great bells of the temples have gone silent. Their last chimes linger in the air, fading like the final notes of a song. All across Atlantis, doors are closed, lamps are dimmed, and hearts grow quiet. In the homes of scholars, scrolls are rolled and set aside. In the homes of artists, brushes rest in jars of water, their colors settling gently. In the homes of children, soft breathing fills the rooms as dreams begin to form. Even the kings sleep. They lie in chambers cooled by flowing water, their beds carved from smooth stone and draped with soft, shimmering cloth. Outside their windows, the sea reflects the stars, reminding them that their power is small compared to the vastness of the world. This knowledge brings them peace. And with each breath, it carries you deeper into peaceful rest. The drift continues, smooth and endless, like a lullaby that never quite finishes. Far out across the open sea, where the water stretches farther than the eye can imagine, slow swells rise and fall. They are wide and gentle, not the kind that crash or roar, but the kind that simply lift, and lower, and lift again. These waves have traveled for thousands of miles. They have crossed empty oceans, glided past distant shores, and now they arrive here, soft and tired, resting against the edges of Atlantis as if coming home. The water carries memories. Every drop has been part of rain, of rivers, of clouds and seas. It remembers mountains and valleys, sunlight and shadow. When it touches the stone of Atlantis, it shares these memories, whispering them into the foundations of the city. That is why Atlantis feels so alive. The stone listens. The water speaks. And everything is connected. In quiet courtyards, small pools shimmer beneath starlight. Tiny ripples move across their surfaces, even when no wind blows. Some say these ripples are the dreams of the city, gently stirring in its sleep. If you lean close, you might hear something in them. Not words, but feelings. Warmth. A sense of being held. The Atlanteans call these pools mirrors of the soul. People sit beside them when their hearts feel heavy, watching the water until their worries melt away. Tonight the pools are calm. The city is dreaming. Lanterns glow faintly along empty streets. Their light is soft and golden, not bright enough to wake anyone, just enough to guide gentle wanderers. Shadows stretch lazily across marble paths, shifting as clouds drift overhead. Somewhere a single flute plays. Not loudly, not clearly. Just a few slow notes, floating on the breeze, weaving into the sound of waves. It feels like the island itself is humming to keep its dreams sweet. Even the great temple rests now. The doors are closed, but warm light spills from within, illuminating the steps. Inside, incense smoke curls upward in lazy spirals, carrying silent prayers into the air. Poseidon's statue stands watch, unmoving yet somehow aware. The ocean beyond the temple reflects his gaze, endless and deep. He is not a god of storms tonight. He is a god of stillness. And as you drift through this endless calm, your body grows heavier, your mind lighter. You feel as though you are floating between waking and sleep, carried by gentle waves that never let you fall. Atlantis wraps around you like a soft, glowing cocoon. Nothing can reach you here. Nothing needs to. The world grows quieter still, as though even silence is settling down to rest. The sea no longer whispers, it hums. A low, steady vibration moves through the water, through the stone, through the very air. It is the sound of balance, the sound of everything resting exactly where it belongs. Deep beneath the surface, ancient currents flow through glowing tunnels carved long ago by Atlantean hands and guided by the natural movement of the sea. These passages allow water to move gently beneath the island, keeping it cool, keeping it alive. As the currents pass, the crystal walls shimmer, lighting the darkness in soft waves of blue and gold. Shadows drift slowly across the stone, like clouds passing over the moon. Somewhere in these depths, schools of luminous fish glide silently. Their bodies glow faintly, lighting their path through the dark. They move together, turning as one, guided by instinct and harmony. They do not rush. They never collide. They simply flow. Back above, the city rests. Windows glow softly behind drawn curtains. Soft breathing fills quiet rooms. Even the wind seems to have slowed, brushing gently against rooftops and towers. The moon drifts higher in the sky, bathing Atlantis in silver light. It touches every surface, stone, water, leaf, and shell, turning the world into a dream of pale glow and soft shadow. Everything feels gentle now. Even time itself seems to soften, stretching out, slowing down, letting the night last as long as it needs to. You feel yourself drifting with it. Your thoughts become like ripples on water. Small, slow, fading quickly. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to worry about. Only this peaceful moment. Only this endless night. Atlantis remains, floating between sea and sky, cradled by both. Has no need to move. Has nowhere to go. It is already home. And so are you. Resting. Floating, dreaming. The gentle drift carries on, smooth and unbroken, like a long breath that never quite ends. Somewhere far beyond the glowing edges of Atlantis, the ocean stretches into deep, quiet blue. There the water is cool and still, undisturbed by waves or wind. It is a place of ancient calm, where time feels almost asleep. In these depths the sea listens. It listens to the movement of the tides, it listens to the pulse of the earth, it listens to the dreams of those who rest above. The Atlanteans believed that every dream released a small ripple into the water, and that the sea gathered them all, weaving them into gentle currents of peace. That is why the ocean near Atlantis always felt warm and welcoming. It was filled with the dreams of a happy people. Tonight those dreams are soft and quiet. Children dream of glowing fish and flying birds. Scholars dream of endless stars. Sailors dream of gentle winds and safe harbors. And you drift among these dreams, carried by their warmth. Back on the island, clouds drift lazily across the sky, sometimes dimming the moon, sometimes revealing it again. Each shift in light feels like the slow opening and closing of a sleepy eye. The towers of Atlantis glow faintly through the mist, their outlines soft and dreamlike. Bridges arch across the canals, reflected perfectly in the still water below, creating circles of light and shadow. The whole city looks like a vision, half real, half imagined. And maybe that is what Atlantis has always been. A place not just of stone and water, but of quiet wonder. As you drift deeper, even the idea of distance begins to fade. There is no far or near, no before or after. Only now, floating gently in a sea of calm. Your body feels heavy and light all at once. Your breath slows. Your mind quiets. The ocean holds you in its endless, patient embrace. The night deepens further, soft and endless, stretching like silk across the sky. Above, the stars trace slow paths across the heavens, their light faint yet steady. Each one seems to pulse gently like a heartbeat, reminding you that even in vastness there is rhythm. The Atlanteans believed the stars were guides, not to lead ships, but to guide the soul, whispering secrets of balance, harmony, and quiet strength. Below, the ocean mirrors the sky. Waves rise and fall without sound, carrying the silver reflection of the moon. Ripples slide across the surface in slow, graceful arcs, folding into each other like a lullaby sung by the world itself. Along the shore, soft sands curve like gentle hills. Footprints appear only to vanish with the next quiet wave, leaving the beach pristine, untouched, and patient. Here, every movement is mirrored by the sea, every thought softened by the tide. In the heart of Atlantis, gardens bloom beneath the moon. Their colors are muted in the night, but their forms remain, swaying with a subtle rhythm. Flowers open and close with a gentle pull of the water in the canals, petals brushing against each other in a dance as old as the island itself. Birds that sleep in high treetops occasionally stir, stretching wings slowly, then folding them once more. Their movements are so quiet, so deliberate, that if you were to watch, you would swear time itself had slowed to match them. The canals hum gently, carrying water through every corner of the city. The sound is low, soothing, unbroken, a steady background for everything that rests above. Sometimes the hum is joined by the faint rustle of leaves, the soft tinkle of a distant fountain, or the flutter of a curtain moved by a lazy breeze. Somewhere in the distance, a bell tolls softly. Not a sharp clang, but a long, mellow resonance that fades slowly into the night. The sound drifts across streets and gardens, over water and stone, reminding all who hear it that the world is safe, calm, and at peace. And here, in this quiet, you feel yourself drifting. Your thoughts are no longer sharp or urgent. They are gentle, like tiny waves lapping against a shore. They rise and fall, fold into each other, and vanish. The island seems to breathe with you. Every pulse of the ocean, every glimmer of starlight, every quiet note from a distant instrument or fountain flows into the rhythm of your heart. Atlantis is not merely a place. It is a presence, a slow, steady heartbeat of calm. The palace at the center of the city rests beneath the moon, its golden walls muted to soft amber in the night. Inside, quiet halls stretch endlessly. Every door is closed, every chamber filled with gentle shadows and soft whispers of the past. Even the statue of Poseidon seems softened by the moonlight, his trident resting lightly at his side, his eyes reflecting the calm of the waters. Outside, in the quiet streets, life seems suspended, a gentle pause that holds all in perfect balance. Lanterns glow faintly along bridges and avenues, their reflections folding into the water below. The city itself seems to drift, weightless and eternal, and you are drifting with it, wrapped in the warmth of stone and water, carried by the rhythm of waves, held by the endless quiet of an island untouched by time. Chapter 7. Eternal Slumber and Awakening Dreams. Tale closes peacefully. Atlantis sleeps, spirit awakens in us. May it lull you to restful thoughts. Good night, dreamer.